Coming up on Sports Paws, we have all you need to know about the ECAC Women's Hockey Championship weekend heading up to Lake Placid this year.
And field hockey faced two tough non-conference opponents in Boston University and Columbia.
Not to mention volleyball took a trip down to South Carolina for the College of Charleston Invitational.
All that and more coming up on Sports Paws starting right now.
Welcome to a brand new episode of Sports Paws. I'm Rose Carrotta.
And I'm Christina Tsimenis.
Let's get right into the news you tuned in for. On Monday, September 8th, the Cornell Sun reported that this year's ECAC Women's Ice Hockey Championship weekend will be held in Lake Placid, New York. While the ECAC has not yet announced the change on their platforms, it was confirmed by the Lake Placid Olympic Regional Development Authority. Previously, the championships were held in the highest remaining seed's home rink.
The last four teams left in the competition will head to Lake Placid for the semifinal and championship games. The opening round and quarterfinals will still be held at home ice locations. The ECAC Men's Ice Hockey Championship game has been held in Lake Placid for the last 21 years. Now, women's ice hockey programs will be able to partake in the same tradition.
On Tuesday, field hockey senior Mo Quayle was named to the Big East Field Hockey Honor Roll. This is the first Big East award for the midfielder. Quayle scored 2 goals in Quinnipiac's 5-0 win against Stonehill and has 4 total points for the 2025 season. The Bobcats are 4-2 on the year and will take on Liberty University on Friday, September 19th at home.
On Friday, the field hockey team dropped a non-conference matchup on the road against Boston University 4-2. The Terriers scored just 13 seconds into the game, leading 3-0 after the first 20 minutes. First-year Mikey Van Wensen scored her second goal of the season for the Bobcats, while sophomore Francisca Escuella scored her fourth, leading the team in goals. Goaltender Cristina Torres made 6 saves in the loss. But on Sunday, the Bobcats were back at home to take on the Columbia Lions, who had a 3-0 start to their season. Quinnipiac hosting Ivy League foe Columbia following a loss to Boston University to start the weekend. The Lions enter Sunday looking to keep their undefeated season alive, including a notable win over number 18 Albany in their season opener. In the first, Mackenzie Bloom beats first-year defender Micah Van Wensen and shovels it to Sophia Abate, who sneaks it into the net to open scoring. It's the senior's first goal of the season. Now to the second, Francisca Escuella takes on multiple defenders on the far side of the field, and Rosemary Van Koolen slaps it home, one of 2 goals for the first year on the afternoon. Van Koolen's up to 7 points in 4 games for the Bobcats. Then it's familiar sight for Quinnipiac in the fourth quarter. Escuella's lines up a shot that misses, but she hangs in and cleans up on her own miss to give the Bobcats a 2-goal cushion midway through the fourth quarter. Make it 14 points on the season for the All Big East talent. Then they send it into the circle, and after a few ricochets, first-year Izzy Caxor fires one above Torres' head to cut the Bobcat lead. That's Caxor's second collegiate goal. In the final 2 minutes, Columbia had penalty corner chances, but the Bobcats' defense stifled them, keeping another goal off the board and securing the 3-2 win. Van Koolen and Escuella's tallied the goals. Torres picked up 2 more saves, and the Bobcats secured momentum before Friday's game in Hampton when Liberty comes to town. It's been quite the hot start for the field hockey team this season, Rose.
You're right, Christina. How about we hear some more about them from field hockey beat reporter Spencer Decker.
After losing to Boston University 4-2 on Friday, the Bobcats traveled back to Hamden, where they took down Columbia 3-2 on Sunday.
Columbia scored first, going up 1-0, but the Bobcats would come out slinging. 3 straight goals in 3 straight quarters made it 3-1, before Columbia scored a late goal in the fourth. Head coach Nina Klein talked about maybe having some extra insurance, wanting another goal, and giving the Bobcats some more cushion.
I mean, going into the third, we wanted to make sure that we kept the momentum up. I thought we had a really good first start to the first period, second period, and just really maintaining that momentum. And then I was very clear going into the fourth that I wanted another goal. When it was 3-1, like I knew we were going to have a chance to take away the win. So I think just keeping our momentum, keeping our poise. We did lose a bit of possession game there in the middle part of the third and fourth. But overall, they were able to rebound and find a way to win.
Bobcats' first-year class continued to impress as Rosemary Van Kulen had 2 goals of her own. She talked about how her team has bonded and what Lauren Keat has seen from the Bobcat squad.
I feel like we just bond very well. We know each other very well. And on the field, I feel like you can see it. We just fight each other. We support each other. And I don't know, I feel like we are, very bonded. That's it.
They joined in, didn't miss a beat. They have become such a great asset to this team, and we're so lucky to have them. We got a great class, and they fit right in with our team.
And the Bobcats are back in action at home next weekend, where the Liberty Flames come to town. Their first Big East game of the season. We'll see if the first years could help like they did today. Reporting for Q30 Sports, I'm Spencer Decker.
The Quinnipiac women's soccer team had their second game of MAC play on Saturday, where they headed up to Niagara. The Bobcats had a slow start, and Niagara took advantage of the lull, scoring their first goal 28 minutes into the first half and their second 2 minutes later. Midfielder Anna Bean got the team back into play with her first goal of the season in the second half. Junior Milena Bronco followed suit and scored a second goal with just 9 minutes remaining. The Bobcats were able to squeak out a tie from the matchup to make their record 1-3-2. Taking a look at the current state of the MAC rankings, Sacred Heart and Canisius both sit at the top of the list with a 2-0 MAC record. Quinnipiac follows up at third with a 1-0-1 record. 2024 champions Fairfield are close behind with a 1-0 record. St. Peter's, Mount St. Mary's, and Merrimack take up the next 3 slots, all boasting a 1-1 record. Marist rounds out the top 8 and is followed closely by Niagara, Siena, Iona, Ryder, and Manhattan, respectively.
Well, it sounds like women's soccer MAC play is really heating up.
That's right, and women's soccer beat reporter Patrick Walsh has everything you need to know about their next 2 matchups.
Thanks, guys. After Saturday's 2-2 draw against the Niagara Purple Eagles, the Quinnipiac women's soccer team currently sits in 3rd place in the MAC standings and holds a record of 1-3-2. Let's take a look at some of their upcoming games, which should be crucial to their season success. The Bobcats will take on the 6th place Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers this coming Saturday at noon. The Mountaineers are 1-1 in conference play and 3-4 overall, with a loss to Merrimack on their ledger, as well as 3 straight losses to begin the season against Delaware, Towson, and Penn, respectively. They're also coming off a 3-2 win against St. Peter's on Saturday. This game is shaping up to be very similar to the game the Bobcats won against Ryder a few weeks ago, playing a team in Mount St. Mary's that just missed the postseason last year and is looking to bounce back. It will be important for Dave Clark's squad to not get complacent and keep the momentum going after the comeback against Niagara. The Mountaineers are led offensively by Cassidy Nichols, who has 3 goals and 8 points on the season, and goalkeeper Abigail Michaela, who currently has 27 saves so far. After Mount St. Mary's, Quinnipiac faces arguably its biggest game of the regular season as they take on the defending MAC champion and in-state rival Fairfield Stags, who defeated the Bobcats in the MAC championship in heartbreaking fashion last year to advance to the NCAA tournament. The Bobcats and Stags have battled for the top of the MAC for the last few seasons, Quinnipiac defeating Fairfield in the 2023 MAC championship. The Stags currently sit just behind the Bobcats in 4th place with a win against Iona on Saturday and a 5-1 non-conference record, with their only loss being to Big Ten opponent Rutgers. The Stags will have to play the current conference leader Sacred Heart Pioneers this coming Saturday, so their result in that game, along with how Quinnipiac plays against Mount St. Mary's, should set the tone for their matchup in Hamden. Fairfield's Maddie Theriol, the unanimous MAC preseason player of the year, currently leads the conference in shots with 31 and in goals with 7 so far. And goalkeeper Katie Wright leads the MAC with a 783 goals against average and 31 saves with just 5 goals allowed. If they are to be successful in these 2 games, the Bobcats need big contributions from Milena Bronco, who currently leads the team in goals with 3, and Madison Alves, team's only member of the MAC preseason team, who has a huge presence on the field. One of the questions surrounding the team is who to start in goal, with Gwen Hoyt, who started the season opener, and Olivia Jarvis, who replaced Hoyt in the second half of the Ryder game and started against Niagara, currently battling for who will be the starter going forward. The Bobcats will need stellar goalkeeping from whoever Clark puts in between the posts, especially against Fairfield. That's all I have from the Quinnipiac Soccer and Lacrosse Stadium. Coming up next, Rose and Christina will flip it over to the men's soccer team as they took on Division II Caldwell, as the Bobcats look for their first win of the year. And volleyball took a trip down to Charleston, South Carolina for a 3-match invitational slate. Don't go anywhere, because Sports Paws will be right back after this commercial break.
Reporting from the Grove for Q30 News, Reporting from the Miller Library for Q30 News.
Reporting from the Mount Carmel campus for Q30 News.
Reporting on Whitney Ave for Q30 News.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
As a dad, every day is a challenge. To make sure that the time that I spend with them, it doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to try and to teach them. When they learn something new, and you can just see in their faces, it's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff.
You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Thanks for taking that short break with us. Let's get right back into the action with the men's soccer home matchup against Caldwell on Thursday. Quinnipiac taking on Division II Caldwell in the 2025 home opener. Head coach Eric DaCosta's squad is off to an 0-3-1 start, so they're really looking for that important win here. Forward Willem Hollum starts the action. He bullies the ball away from a Cougar defender and puts the Bobcats on the board less than a minute in. It is 1-0 Bobcats. That was his first goal of the season, and it was a well-needed lead for this team. They've been really lacking getting that offense, so this was very important for them. Minutes later, Sivert Rizdalsnes gets a look at the net, but Caldwell keeper Justin Talbot makes a save. That is not the last one you'll see. Now it's Francisco Ferreira taking up the corner for Quinnipiac, but Talbot makes the play yet again for the Cougars. He had 7 saves in this one. Now let's watch this play develop. First year Taiga Matoba sends the ball through to Frederick Moen before Rizdalsnes finds the back of the net. The Bobcats headed into halftime with a 2-0 lead, but Caldwell scored quickly 11 minutes into the second half to make it 2-1 thanks to sophomore Hakan Raka. Bobcats still trying to secure their first win of the season, and Andrew Montesserin would be a huge part of it. Montesserin goes down in the box and draws the penalty. This is a huge chance for the Bobcats. Quinnipiac would opt for Luke Shirenbeck to take the free kick, but Talbot says no again. The score remains 2-1, but Montesserin wasn't done putting the pressure on the Cougars, though, as he nets his first goal of the season and Quinnipiac gets its first win of the season. The Bobcats are going to take this one 3-1, and they will be staying at home. They'll take on the LIU Sharks tomorrow at 4 p.m. for their second-to-last non-conference game of the season. Men's soccer will be heading into MAC play by the end of this week.
Men's soccer beat reporter Zach Naffa has your preview on the upcoming matches.
Thanks, guys. The men's soccer team has 2 games this week. First, hosting Long Island University on Tuesday, right here at the Quinnipiac Soccer and Lacrosse Stadium. And then on Saturday, they travel to Poughkeepsie, New York to open a MAC play against the Marist Red Foxes. Starting off with the LIU game, the biggest thing I'm looking out for is who is starting in net for the Bobcats. Emilio Balderrama started the first 4 games of the season going 0-3-1, but putting up a very impressive performance in the season opener against Pitt, only allowing 1 goal against one of the top teams in the country. But then last game, Matt Pisani got the start and got the win in a 3-1 victory over Caldwell University, a Division II program. Just like the women's soccer team, it's going to be the biggest storylines to look out for going forward. And then to Saturday, when they traveled to take on the Red Foxes, Marist came to Hamden twice last year and left victorious both times, including a 2-1 victory in the first round of the MAC tournament that ended the Bobcats season. Quinnipiac is going to be looking for some revenge, and that's going to be a big game because they started off on the right foot 1-0 in conference play last year before ending up 1-4. They were able to salvage a 4-4 record in 500, but starting off with a victory in conference play is going to be important to getting going quicker in conference play. That's all I got from the Quinnipiac Soccer and Lacrosse Stadium. Back to you guys at the desk.
The volleyball team started out at the College of Charleston Invitational against Stetson on Friday. The Bobcats took the first set from the Hatters by a score of 25-21, but Stetson took both the second and third sets by 25-12 and 25-14, respectively. The Bobcats started out the fourth set with an 11-2 advantage, but Stetson came back to win it in the end. Elena Giacomini led the Bobcats in kills with 23. She also had 4 blocks and 1 ace. After that, the Bobcats took on the Invitational hosts themselves on September 13th.
Let's take a look at how Quinnipiac held up against the College of Charleston. Coming off the loss against Stetson on Friday, the Bobcats take on the hosts of the tournament and reigning Coastal Athletic Association champions, the Charleston Cougars, and look to claim their first win of the weekend.
Starting off in the first set, a serve from the Cougars allows the 1-2-3, logging a kill from Elena Silva. It's tied 2-2.
The Bobcats send this one over the net. That sets up Caroline Noonan for the kill that froze Yamur Ganesh and Sara Uzbel-Tekin. That is 7-6 Charleston.
Then Elena Giacomini back to serve, and it's an ace. The perfect placement closes Charleston's lead to 1 point.
Later in that set, Emma Duffield rising high at the net, but it doesn't go. That's end of set 1, 22-19 Charleston.
Quinnipiac up early in the second, but Charleston answers back. Izzy Marinelli gets the set and rips it just out of reach of Damla Ganesh.
Next play, Emma Duffield smashes it between 2 Bobcats.
Down again with the set, this time to Marinelli. She sends it cross-court too quick for Damla Ganesh.
Late in the second now, Jemana Martin delivers the quick set and Duffield finishes end of set 2, 23-15 Charleston.
Into the third, Charleston strikes first. McKenna Parthen times it perfectly, gets up and rejects Yamur Ganesh for the block. Cougars on the board.
Later on, Damla Ganesh starts with the serve and Charleston responds trying to soft tap over the Bobcats, but the dig from Damla confuses the Cougars and slows their mojo, forces the attack error on Belisina Corey, and Cougars still hold the lead. It's 15-9 Charleston, and it's a beautiful display of patience by the Cougars as they control this set.
Match point, and Damla Ganesh sets up her sister but is blocked. Quinnipiac recovers with the backward set to Giacomini, and the Cougars answer to Sara Uzbel-Tekin with the response, but she mishandles the ball, and that's how Charleston closes it out. They win 25-18. This was the Bobcats' second loss of a 3-game tournament, and they would take on Youngstown State next.
Volleyball continued non-conference play in their most recent matchup against Youngstown State on Sunday. The Penguins took ownership of the first set with a 25-20 victory over the Bobcats. Quinnipiac came back and won the second and third sets 25-21 and 25-20. Youngstown State dominated the fourth sets 25-17 and forced a fifth set that gave them the win for this competition.
On Saturday, the rugby team picked up their second win of the season against Long Island University, 65-33. In the game, first-year Delilah Stauberg scored her first 3 tries of her collegiate career. Layla Cox, Reagan Perez, and Anna Wright all scored 2 tries each. In addition, Gabriella Paya is on a 2-game scoring streak. The win propelled the Bobcats to a 2-1 record on the season. The team's next game is at home against Lindenwood on Friday at 4 p.m. Well, fall sports have been in full swing, but the winter sports season is coming up quickly. Coming up on Sports Paws, we'll get you up to date on women's ice hockey preseason polls ahead of their season opener on Saturday.
And not just that, we'll be giving you our Quinnipiac Sports Top 5 Plays of the Week. Make sure to stick with us. You are not going to want to miss it.
Do you enjoy debating Quinnipiac sports?
That's all flash, no catch. She didn't net it in the back of the net. That's not even a goal.
What are you doing pulling out rhymes?
That's like a crossover with a missed layup. All right.
Bobcat Breakdown is the place for you, with debate, analysis, and so much more.
Mate Marinov. He is good, but oh man, is he bad. And
that team is amazing. How do you not put fish on women's volley?
Tune in to Bobcat Breakdown every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. on Q30TV.com/watch.
Oh, right. Look at you taking the stairs. Who are you?
We're your lungs. We are proud of you for quitting smoking, but you still may be at risk for lung cancer.
A routine cancer scan can detect it early when it's more curable. Good to know. Well, I gotta go somewhere.
So do we.
So do we.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. I'm Christina Tsimenis, and alongside me is Rose Carrotta.
Cross-country beat reporter Spencer Decker has the story on Quinnipiac's performance in the Manhattan-Jasper Fall Cross-Country Invitational.
Quinnipiac Cross Country was back in action this weekend at the Manhattan-Jasper Invitational with multiple MAC teams in attendance along with the Bobcats. Starting on the men's side, the Bobcats finished 8th in the meet. They bested Sacred Heart Manhattan and St. Peter's, finishing in the mid-pack against the MAC teams. The Bobcats, Alex Saldana, usually their top runner, not finishing in the top spot for the Bobcats. He was down at 27:07 behind 5 other runners. The top runner for Quinnipiac, Slater Von Stetten, with a 26:10. Behind 2 firsters as well, with Shepard Livingston and Tyler Demme going 43rd and 46th overall. The women's cross-country team, though, they continue their dominance. First at the Manhattan-Jasper Invitational. They're looking really good to start their season. For the women, Sierra Gray taking the top spot for Quinnipiac, a 20-26 overall in the meet, just behind one of Bucknell's top runners. Rachel Shaton-Germain also a 20-52 and 4th overall, and 3 Bobcats in the top 10 as Madeline O'Neill finished with a 21-35 with that spot. Now, since we're so early into the season, the Bobcats have a big break and time to prepare. Their next meet will be on October 3rd, All-Star Invitation, hosted by Lehigh University. That's all I have here. Back to Christina and Rose on the desk.
The Quinnipiac women's ice hockey team was picked tied for 4th place in the 2025-26 ECAC Hockey Preseason Coaches Poll. In first place is defending champions Cornell, followed by Colgate in 2nd, Clarkson in 3rd, and St. Lawrence tied for 4th to round out the top 4. The Bobcats have finished top 5 in the conference in the past 5 seasons and look to continue their success after bringing in 11 newcomers this season.
The USCHO Women's Ice Hockey Poll was released today. Last year's NCAA champion and runner-up Wisconsin and Ohio State take up the 1st and 2nd spots respectively. They're followed by Minnesota in 3rd, Cornell in 4th, and Colgate in 5th. Minnesota, Duluth, Clarkson, and Penn State round out the 6th, 7th, and 8th slots. Finally, we have St. Lawrence in 9th, Quinnipiac in 10th, Boston University in 11th, and University of Connecticut in 12th. St. Cloud State in 13th, Princeton in 14th, and Northeastern in 15th.
Former Bobcat Savion Lewis signed a pro deal with KK Leotard Trebinje, a Eurobasket team in Bosnia. Lewis graduated last May after 7 years at Quinnipiac. He holds the Division I record for the most assists in a single season in Quinnipiac men's basketball history, with 248 in the 2023-24 season. He is also the Division I single-season average assist leader for Quinnipiac, with an average of 7.3 and 248 assists across 34 games. Finally, he sits 3rd all-time for Quinnipiac in assists with 590. Men's tennis opened their fall season over the weekend at the Army Hidden Duels. They ended the day with 6 wins, 4 singles wins against Army Black, and a pair of doubles wins against Army Gold. First-year Alessandro Siaka earned his first 2 collegiate wins with the Bobcats. Carlos Broncimo, Shinad Roddy, and Gaurav Mutha also won their individual matches. The Bobcats went 2-1 in doubles.
Heading into the next day, Quinnipiac put up quite the showing. The Bobcats won 4 of their singles against Sacred Heart and all 3 of their matches against Marist. Carlos Broncimo, Shannon Nirati, Elias Haksha, and Gaurav Muthal all won their singles. Quinnipiac went 3-0 in their doubles matches.
The Bobcats finished off their Army Fall Opener weekend on Sunday with 5 single wins against Holy Cross and 1 double win against Hofstra. First-year Prithvi Sudhakar picked up his first win as a Bobcat. Carlos Broncimo, Elias Haksha, Alessandro Siaka, and Shannon Nirati also won their singles. Quinnipiac went 1-2 in their doubles. Men's tennis will play next on Friday, September 19th against Fairfield. Well, Sunday was the field hockey team's youth day, and the Bobcats faced off against the Columbia Lions. Field hockey beat reporter Olivia Gruber has the story.
On Sunday, it was National Field Hockey Day as well as Youth Day in Hamden as the Bobcats won against the Columbia Lions 3-2 with Cheshire High School field hockey in attendance.
The Bobcats signed autographs after the game, and head coach Nina Klein had this to say about what it means for the younger players and the Bobcats themselves.
It's amazing. I mean, just seeing the way that these young people are looking up to our Bobcats is really special. And I even see an alum over there, Cheryl Canada, and her young daughter, which I'm waving to right now. But just having this environment around the athletes is fantastic, and we're super grateful for the support today. It made a lot of a difference.
Redshirt junior Lauren Keat shares her thoughts about what Youth Day means to her.
It's really exciting, and it's great to have them here. I'm glad we were able to pull out a win for them and just setting an example for them and showing them what it's like to play at this level for any of them that want to.
First-year Rosemary Van Keulen also shared her thoughts on what it means for her as well.
I really love it. I hope they see us as an example. I don't know. And I hope we gave them a good feel of us.
Bobcats will be back in action on Friday against the Liberty Flames starting at 1 p.m. For Q30 Sports, I'm Olivia Gruber.
Christina, I'm checking the time here on my iPad, and I'm realizing it's getting kind of late. I think I need to get home to my cat Thin Mint.
Well, don't worry, Rose, because we're about to wrap up the show with the top 5 plays. Starting off on the volleyball court for play 5, Turkish twin connection between Damla and Yamur Ganesh linking up for the kill. More from this game later.
Play 4 on the field hockey turf, Francisca Escoyas with a shot from the high slot. It's saved, but the rebound pops out to her stick, and she makes no mistake. The Bobcats extended their lead on this play to 3-1.
Staying with field hockey for play 3, Escoyas with masterful stick handling gets by 2 defenders, then finds Rosemary Van Keulen in front of the net for the goal. Take a look at the quick moves from the sophomore on the replay. Bobcats would win this game over Columbia 3-2.
And back to the courts for play 2, Elena Giacomini from the service line picks up an ace with a jump serve and some nasty topspin. Defenders were left clueless after that one. Quinnipiac would go on to lose to Charleston, though.
Play 1 on the soccer pitch, women's soccer versus Niagara. Milena Bronco curves the ball into the back of the net from the corner. Take another look as it deflects off of the goalie and into the net. This game would end in a 2-2 tie.
And, Christina, I know I said I had to go, but I don't think I can leave without talking about women's ice hockey a little bit. I mean, I am so excited to see Felicia Frank take up the helm as likely the starter goalie for this team with the graduation and PWHL signing of Kaylee Doyle.
Yeah, I'm also really excited for that too, Rose. I love a good goalie story, but I'm also really excited for the 11 newcomers this year, 9 first years and 2 transfers. So there's going to be a lot of really new, fresh talent, not even for the Bobcats, but all throughout the league. A lot of players graduated last season, and there are a lot of newcomers to all teams in the ECAC. But that's all the time we have tonight on Sports Paws. Thank you to everyone working hard behind the scenes and all the producers.
Make sure to follow us on X and Instagram at Q30 Television and check out our website at Q30TV.com. She's Christina Tsimenis. I'm Rose Carrotta. Have a splendid night, Bobcats.